Anna Jenkins with Home Dream Realty, and today I'm here with the monthly home improvement and some tips to make your home remodel a success. So when you're thinking about remodeling, whether it be like a room addition or you're going to change something or whatever, the first thing that you need to do is you need to define what you truly need and why. So we talk about cost and things, and this is with the why, and what you need is the cost going to outweigh the benefit? Meaning, like, where you're going to get some of your money back, or is this really just for your own enjoyment? And I guess a good example of this would be a pool. So in that situation, a lot of times people do not get their money back on a pool when they go to sell their home. But if it's just for your own enjoyment, then it doesn't matter. So definitely do the pool. Just know what you're getting into and define what you truly need and why. So next thing, we talk about cost. So the next thing is when you're making those decisions, make them by value, not just price. And the reason I say that, and this is what we do when we remodel homes and things like that, when we're getting ready for rent, and we're actually going to start flipping. And so when you do this, is the cheapest isn't always the best deal. So you want to make sure that you're getting quality for the long run, so you're not going to have to replace it later. And things like we prefer vinyl planks because they're very durable with rentals and things, but sheet vinyl may not last as long. So it might be better to spend the extra money on a better value that is going to withstand some time. The other thing is don't do anything without a design or a plan. So you do need a plan, but you also need plans. If you're doing a room addition or if you're changing something or creating something, you definitely have to have plans to follow. Now your plans could change. You may end up having to move the kitchen items or different size cabinets because you didn't take into consideration the walls, 6 inches for walls. And so now you have to do an 18-inch cabinet instead of 24-inch cabinet. So those different things could happen and things could change, but you definitely want to have a plan and plans for what you're doing. So if it's an addition, also, here's another tip, is if it is an addition, make sure that you're keeping heating and cooling in mind. So Rick and I, when we've done different remodels and things like that, we have actually started using mini splits. Mini splits have been around for quite a while, but they haven't been as popular in the United States. But you see them in Europe and in like Asian countries, Japan, different things like that. But and they're actually relatively inexpensive, only about $2,000 to $3,000 to install, sometimes even less than that, depending on where you're installing them. And so that is something definitely that you need to keep in mind, is how the space is going to be heated and cooled. Okay, and this also comes into play with square footage. So if it's a heated and cooled space, it could actually increase the square footage of your home. But if it's like a sunroom or a Florida room that's not, then it doesn't actually get additional square footage. The other thing is when you're doing a remodel, you want to try to keep your windows in their existing places. It's actually pretty costly to move windows around because then you have to deal with framing and things on the inside and outside and different things like that. So if there are existing windows, you want to keep those in place. Now, lastly, if you're doing an extensive remodel, it's probably not a good idea to live in the home. So if you can somehow make arrangements not to be there, if you're doing an extensive remodel, it can actually be really stressful. Your whole life is kind of topsy-turvy. Things aren't where they're supposed to be, especially if it's like a kitchen. If you have a family and you're doing a remodel of a kitchen, it's really, really hard to live in that home. I mean, that could be a couple weeks, but maybe, have everything in place and do it and go on a vacation. I don't know. But so that might be a fun way to do it. But the thing is that is probably a good idea not to be in the house. On the other hand, it's a good idea to be in the house if you can be there, because then you can watch over things, give advice, see what happens if there's changes and things like that. So hope these help, these tips to make home modeling a success. Sorry, that was a little blooper. Tips to make home remodeling a success. So define what you truly need and why. Make decisions by value, not just price. Don't work without a design. If it's an addition, keep heating and cooling in mind, and try to keep windows in their existing places. And if you're doing an extensive remodel, you might want to find somewhere else to live. Hope this helps, and definitely look at other videos that we have on our YouTube channel. And of course, if you need any help with sales, rentals, investing, or property management, we're here for you. Have an awesome, awesome day.